everybody. I'm Cristina. I'm a Certified Ascension Coach with Twin Flames Universe, and I am here with several other Certified and Master Certified Ascension Coaches. So we can go around the room and introduce ourselves. So we're here to talk to you today about what your twin flame is experiencing. So if everybody wants to introduce themselves or say a few words.
Hi, I'm Kanisha. I am a Certified Ascension Coach, and I'm excited about this topic.
Hey, I'm Leesie. I'm a Master Certified Ascension Coach, and I too am excited about this topic. It's going to be juicy.
Hi, I'm Kiran, and I'm also I'm a session coach, and I'm also in Harmonious Union with my twin flame. So yeah, let's have a nice live together.
Great. So I know we had talked about pulling some cards. Leesie, would you like to pull some cards for us?
Absolutely. So I'm going to be using the Oracle of the Fairies, and this is a relatively new deck from me, but we're just going to pull cards, getting the energies of the collective and your twin flame union, like what's kind of coming up, what's everybody like facing right now. It's the card. Ooh, we've got magical gateway. And I know a lot of times we can, we experience many twin flame portals throughout the year. I don't know if everybody knows about the 1111 portal. There's also a Lion's Gate portal and February 22nd portal 222. But each moment you can create a gateway for yourself to walk through. And if you're watching this video, whether you're watching in the open forum or whether you're watching on YouTube, this is an opportunity for you to take another step through to the next level. And I'll read the bottom. It says, "It takes courage and trust to venture into the unknown, yet this is where the greatest rewards are. It's time to step boldly forward without looking back." So we're here today to share with you maybe some things that you already know, maybe refresh those a little bit, but perhaps to some of you, we're going to be sharing brand new information to you about twin flames, and you're invited to receive that and reflect on that in your heart, and to know that as we share, and you might be experiencing something new, that you don't have to be afraid of experiencing this new thing just because it's the unknown right now. You don't have to be afraid of your twin flame union. Should I do another one? Oh, can't hear you.
Yeah, we can do one more if it feels good.
Okay, let's do another one. I just could do this all day. Okay. I pulled out two, so I'm going to read them together. Sometimes they get stuck. Well, this goes along with the last one, new beginnings. So yeah, if you're coming here and watching, like, continue to watch the rest of our workshop or live with an open mind, a beginner's mind, even if you feel like you've been on the journey for a while. And it says, "The fairy godmother heralds the joyous news of a new baby or the birth of a cherished idea. Protect and nurture your ideas as you would a baby." So, woo, that's a jumpy card. Interesting. Okay. And we've got music. So whenever I get the music card, it always reminds me of harmony, because it's always about harmonizing within yourself, right? Like, you don't want your vibration to sound like a sixth grade recorder class. You want to be in harmony within, and so we're going to help you to we're going to talk about a lot of different aspects of what's going on with your twin flame, and that question has a lot of different facets. Okay, that was a good reading.
Yeah, that feels really good. You always have an opportunity to create a new beginning with your twin flame. Like, you can't mess it up, and so, like, yeah, you can, like Leesie said, watch this with an open mind, and maybe you will be inspired to, turn over a new leaf. Kanisha, you're muted.
I said absolutely. So yeah, it's having to really take each day with your union and choosing to what's coming up for me is like forgiveness, is having to choose to let go of anything that has happened in the past with your twin flame and really just choose love in that space and to unconditionally love them and have compassion for whatever it is that you're moving through. And that is going to really help your union build a very strong, stable foundation because you're not holding on to things that happened in the past. Now that you have these tools, it gives you the opportunity to really start new and build a solid foundation that will not crumble every time you have an upset with your twin flame.
Yeah, actually, like, you know, what you just said reminded me, I think it's so common, like when people start the journey, they're like, you know, they feel that connection with who they believe to be their twin flame, and maybe you manifest like a separation or something. I think it's such an instinct to try to like build your union on the rubble of like what was. And you really need to have an open mind and be willing to clear that rubble away and like start fresh with a new foundation, because like the foundation of your union is going to be like entirely different from whatever it was that was going on before. The foundation of your harmonious union, right?
Yeah, especially if you were trying to build it on soulmate tactics of trying to look at your twin flame as a soulmate and do things in a soulmate way, you'll find that your foundation will crumble because it's not based on really the teaching of union, which is to come into union with God, then yourself, then your twin flame, and having a relationship with unconditional love instead of conditional love, which is what we've been taught. And I think for a lot of people, they feel that they're doing the healing and then their twin flame is out doing nothing to help with the union. But your twin flame is also having to move through their own unique challenges and their own personal journey of ascension with God, because that's truly what your twin flame is your buddy, your ascension buddying, helping you become the best version of yourself and aligning with love in every way. But they're also here to help you ascend to God and vice versa. You're here to help them ascend to God. So they're having their own unique journey, and it may look like they're out just partying and having fun or acting like they don't care, but again, having to go through their own experience. And it's important that you don't judge their experience, but respect their experience that they're moving through.
Yeah, I think that's very important because healing is not only, sitting and feeling your feeling for hours and, and moving through that. That's a part of the healing, but you can heal through many other experience. Like, for example, a lot of time, I'm like just playing video game or stuff like that. I'm healing a lot. And I don't really like sit there and feel my feeling. I'm feeling my feeling at the same time. So maybe if your twin flame is not like super spiritual and that, they can have another way that they can heal and feel the feeling. And that's important to not judge, because it's not that you have a better way or something. Like, you're not separated. So do what you can and trust that they do what they can. That's all.
I know when we were talking beforehand, you know, there were a few things that came up as we were discussing this topic. And one of the things that I know Leesie mentioned is there's a lot of interesting information out there and a lot of confusing information. And I don't know if you want to touch on that, Leesie.
Yeah, sure. That was one thing when we decided on this topic that came to mind, and I've been seeing it repeatedly in people that I've met in the community, clients, and so forth. And there's a person who claims to be, or a set of people that claim to be teachers of twin flames, but are coming up with a lot of people saying, like, I did this whole month of not thinking about my twin flame and cutting them out of my mind for a month or 3 weeks or whatever certain amount of time, and I did this exercise for a certain amount of time, and the exercises aren't necessarily based in love at all. They're based in trying to control the situation, and it never ends up working because you end up being back at square one, because that isn't how you approach your twin flame. journey, the whole journey. And I just wanted to address that a little bit because it seems like, because, God wants to come forth in love, and it doesn't matter if you're loving yourself or your twin flame or smelling a beautiful rose on the path, like that desire is trying to move forward. And if you try to suppress it, well, just like water, it's going to find another place to come out. Water carved the Grand Canyon. So it's like that. Like you don't need to try to control your love for yourself or your twin flame. And loving yourself is loving your twin flame, and loving your twin flame is loving yourself. So I think I just wanted to like kind of touch on that. And to that point, if you think about your twin flame, like, oh, I wonder how they're doing. I wonder what, they're going through right now. And wouldn't you say the same thing about a good friend? Like, wouldn't you, hey, I wonder what Daniel and Christina are doing. Like, I wonder what kind of video games they're doing right now. That sort of thing. Like, that's how you would treat a good friend. And why not treat your twin flame that way? Because they're your best friend. So the question of like, what are they going through is actually kind of a sweet thing to ask yourself or to ask God. I think where people were trying to resolve something in that, don't think about them for so long, is that it's like a controlled attempt to heal something that does need healing, which is codependency. And that's what the mirror exercise does, because it takes what you're upset about in the external and points to it very clearly, like step 1 and 2, you find and locate that piece, and then you acknowledge it, step 3, and then you bring love there in step 4. And it's all about loving yourself. It's not about controlling your behavior. Your behavior will match your vibration, and you don't need to worry about your behavior to the degree that you don't control your behavior to heal yourself. That's not actually healing. So I just wanted to say that, and that it's okay to wonder what your twin flame's doing. I think the part that doesn't feel good is when it feels like you're feeling sad or separation consciousness that's coming up, and you don't know what to do, and you feel hopeless, or all these other feelings that are coming up that you don't know what to do with. So that's what we're here to help you with. But about like, I think my own twin flame experience, I didn't know what Josh was doing when I was going through stuff. When we experienced separation, I just knew that I was healing a whole bunch. And I guess I'll pause there because I could launch into a story about what was really happening at that moment, but I'll probably share that in a bit. It's really cool, just FYI. So
Yeah, I definitely want to touch on a little bit of what you said there, of like the opposite of what the twin flame might be going through, and how to handle that within yourself is, I know that my twin flame is moving through grief and a deep upset of losing someone close to him. And because I have compassion and empathy, I found myself wanting to be in that same space with him and almost feeling like I was connecting with him on that level because he was moving through that. But I recognized that what was actually best for my union and for my twin flame was to do my inner work and feel my feelings around his situation, which came up as like hopelessness and powerlessness. And there's a part of me that really wanted to like mother and fix things. And I had to recognize that I was not his source, that God is. And the only way that I could really love and take care of my union was by feeling my feelings, claiming my peace, choosing love in that space, and holding that vibration down so that I could give my twin flame the space to move through what he needed to move through, and then continue to hold the vibration of love so that he could come into that space with me and meet me there. You always have the option, like whatever twin flames holding the higher choice, that is the choice that the twin flames go with. And so if one of you is choosing to move through deeper things or like a lower vibration, you could meet them there if you want to. It's not going to feel good, that separation, or you can choose unconditional love and compassion and allow them to move through what they need to with God and know that God is going to bring them through the other side of that. But as I was feeling into it too, I realized I had grief that I was still moving through. I had a lot of abandonment, upset come up at that time as well. And so it may feel like you're the only one doing the healing, but again, you're not separate from your twin flame. You're always healing at the same time, the core of something. It just may look a little different on the outside.
Yeah, that's so true. I experienced when I did the mind alignment process this last fall, I went through, huge transformation and shift. And then as Josh and I grew closer, we were talking and we had the exact same upset. It was the same thing. It was what was this? It was like, oh, it was the voice that says no matter what I do, it's not enough. And we both were and it was so interesting that after, I was going very deep with my own spiritual practice of the teachings of union and following what Jeff and Shalia guided us to do, and really like it became rhythmic. Then, Josh was here and we were able to talk about this. Like, oh my gosh, I experienced the same exact block. And it's so cool. It was neat. But that was after I had really gone very deep in my own healing work with this school.
Yeah, I think it's really important to remember that if you're wondering what your twin flame is going through, they're going through what you're going through. You're always on some level having a shared experience. And I remember Jeff and Shalia saying that in a twin flame ascension school class. It's like they're just look at what you're going through and they're doing it too. It might look different. It might they might be moving through different experiences, like manifesting different experiences. But the core vibration of those experiences and like what they're, meant to learn and work through is the same as you. And I think that that's really comforting, because I think a lot of people, well, I can't generalize, but I know that for me, when I was really doing a lot of the healing work, yeah, there was some like self-consciousness, like healing work to end separation. Like there was some self-consciousness of like what did I do wrong to end up having to like be the one that's by myself and like be home like doing inner work, and that's not what's going on at all. Your twin flame, like it's actually a privilege to be the one being able to actively do a lot of the healing work and like know what's going on and like be there actively participating on this end of the journey, and you're both going through it at the same time. So
Although you never know, when I was healing and that I remember before coming here at Twin Flame Universe, I was already doing a lot of healing with family constellation and stuff like that. I healed a lot around my body. And when I came here, I just went deeper and still healed there. And then like one day I got in Harmonious Union with Stephanie that I just like met I think the day before, the first time ever I talked with her. So that's why it's not important that what your twin flame is doing, because that changed absolutely nothing. I didn't knew at all my twin flame and I come in harmonious union there. So like just by focusing on myself, on my healing. And for her it was the same. She was certain that she was doing all the healing and her twin flame was doing nothing or something. Well, but not really, that's not what happened, because we were healing together. And yes, maybe at the beginning it was different, the manner we are healing. And it's still different, the manner we are healing, because we don't heal the same, even if we use the same tools and that, we are not healing the same thing, because our experience are different. I mean, the core block is the same, but our experiences are totally different. And that's why it's very important to only focus on yourself. That's how you move forward and just let your twin flame do what they want. That's not really your business. Like, and although if you are looking for that, it's maybe because I mean, my experience of that as I saw people doing it is because somewhere they are looking for love outside of themselves, but that's not where you find love. Like, if you're like, oh, what my twin flame is doing, somewhere what you're saying is like, oh, why they are not here with me? What they have better to do than being here with me to love me. But the thing is that your twin flame is not a machine that they are there to love you. That's not how that works. Like, you have to love yourself to be able to see the reflection through your twin flame, and that's very important. So that's why just the best advice ever. If you want harmonious union, your perfect union, just focus on yourself. You are the key. Don't delay it by focusing on the outside.
Yeah, I love that you said it's kind of important that you just mind your own business. I think Shalia had posted something along the lines of a meme that like the best thing you can do is really just like focus on you and focus on your healing, focus on enjoying life. Like I think a lot of people are focused on the destination of coming into harmonious union. Uh, but in truth, yes, harmonious union is this most beautiful thing that we can manifest into our lives. However, it's gonna require work. So you might as well get comfortable with doing the work and focusing on yourself and feeling your feelings. And going back to what Kiran was talking about of, yeah, we have the same work and we're healing the same thing at the core, but it will manifest differently. Where I've had an upset where I'm upset with my twin flame for not respecting me, and he's having an upset at work because his colleagues aren't respecting him. We're working through the same core upset, however, it's manifesting differently. And so it's also really important that you're not looking to your twin flame to validate that your inner work is working, because that is, again, looking outside of yourself instead of coming to a place of peace within. And also remembering that we don't use the mirror exercise to get our twin flame to change. We use the mirror exercise to come into a place of peace and unconditional love within ourselves, because they're not going to change if we don't change. One of my favorite analogies is you can't expect the mirror to smile at you unless you smile first, and then it'll smile back. And that's your twin flame. You can't expect anything from your twin flame unless you're giving it to yourself. And if you're not giving it to yourself, and sometimes you do receive something from your twin flame, you'll find that if you're not giving it to yourself, you'll feel the unworthiness block and feeling not enough. And that could easily send you going into separation, because you have a hard time receiving love in that space. And that's really the truth of all upsets, is it just needs love in that space, and somewhere you are rejecting love in that space because you've been hurt there, and that's okay. But it's important that you're really getting to know yourself on that level and healing all of those places, so when your twin flame does come into your space, you can receive them and really enjoy them because they are you.
Amen. I sometimes need to take a pause and really like breathe in for a sec, because sometimes mic drops are happening left and right in these lives. So anyway, yeah, thank you for sharing that. And my experience with Josh has been, similar in that, like, we don't, like, whenever I would look to him for validation on, my inner work working, or even look to him for just simple, like, I understand how you're feeling kind of validation. It doesn't work. And I really like the mirror analogy. Um, it makes things a lot easier. It's a lot easier once you kind of heal your consciousness to a degree of being able to see your twin flame as you, like part of you. Like, and one thing that I was watching in Twin Flame Ascension School that might help here is that Jeff was pointing out to students that one consciousness doesn't mean the same brain. Like, you have two different brains. Like, one of you might be a surgeon, the other might know how to bake patisseries or something, and you you don't have the same brain, but you share you're one together as a union, and you're always vibing together as a union. Your twin flame is always reflecting you, whether you're experiencing separation or not. Because if you're experiencing separation, they're going to reflect that, right? Like they're going to be perfect mirror even then. And so anyway, the whole thing is like, it doesn't matter. You don't have to try to control your codependency. Just do the mirror exercise. It's going to heal the root of it. And that's going to help you to really focusing on what you're going through. And that is what your twin flame is going through.
Yeah, something I'd love to touch on also is like this idea of like an awakened versus not awakened twin flame. You know, we've kind of danced around it, but that's such a like a common theme on the internet, you know, and like Jeff and Shalia always teach this, and you know, I have found it to be true every step of the way in my journey that your twin flame is just as awakened as you are. Your twin flame feels the call for their ultimate lover just as much as you do, even if they don't have the words for it or the language or, you know, any of that, right? They're like, twin flames are stupid, but I really just want my true love. And it's like, well, okay, same thing. It's they want the same thing you want at the core, and you're equally awakened. And so you know, that's a comfort that like you can't you know, you can't mess it up, because you know, they're learning the same things you are. And anything that ends up manifesting in your process of healing separation is always intended to take you deeper. It's always intended to, sometimes you might like unearth some chaos, you know, some like unexpected, you know, surprise. But that's something to heal through, right? And that was always there, you know, brewing, right? And it's, there's nothing that you can't mess it up. So
Yeah, I definitely want to touch on what you were saying there about having this belief that your twin flame is not awakened or as awakened as you, or it has to go through some karmic situation before they can be with you because they have to learn a specific lesson with like karmic. But they're even feeling into that and seeing quite a bit of comments in the open forum. What is really happening there of them thinking that their twin flame is not awakened as them is definitely an energy of judgment. And that is definitely something you'll want to heal through, because acceptance is going to be a massive part in coming into harmonious union, is truly accepting your twin flame as being one with you. And so for you to believe that they are not as awakened as you is that judgmental energy, then also will stem resentment. So there's even deeper healing that will need to be happening there. So once you really ground into the knowing that your twin flame is one with you, and really start to see them as your mirror and here to love you unconditionally and not to hurt you and not take it personally, this journey will actually become, for me, it's become more an adventure of like, okay, like I wouldn't have even looked at that, or that's not something that I was aware of until it's in front of me. And instead of being, there's been moments where I've been upset, I'm not gonna lie. When you're triggered, it's not always fun. But if you're really serious about this work and really serious about harmonizing with your twin flame, you'll have to take responsibility and really look at yourself in not a judgmental way, but in a way of just observing and being aware of, oh, this is showing up. I don't like the way this feels. Feel your feelings. And it's really can be a super easy process, not always a comfortable process, but it could be a really easy process if that's what you choose. And that was something that used to trigger me in general with Jeff and Shalia's. Jeff is like, this could be easy if that's what you choose. And I'm like, this is so hard. What is easy about this? And it was just a simple choice of I really just choose to heal and love myself. And I really desire to just show up as authentic as possible. And so when you start to really come at the journey from that viewpoint, it really does shift things for you.
Yeah, I hear that. Like, I had some frustration too when it felt hard. And I remember in the book, there's a line that goes, "It's time to let it be easy." And I kind of realized that like what was so hard is that my mind, it felt like I was trying to figure out a big jigsaw puzzle and I couldn't find that piece and I kept mashing the wrong pieces into the place and it was getting really frustrating. I'm like, it's got to be in this box somewhere. And kind of like a fixation, it's like the mind wants to think a certain way about something, like your twin flame in the example we're using of like not being awakened. It's like a something that your mind has accepted as true that actually isn't true. And so it's like you're walking along a pathway that has a deep groove in it, and to get off that path seems like it's really hard, but it's not. It's just a new choice. It's a choice away. And the good news is that even though once you make the new choice to start aligning with the truth that you're not separate from your twin flame and that you're one, um, there's support. Like as a compassion, there's all the classes of twin flame ascension school to help you heal your vibration. There's ascension coaches. There's the mirror exercise in this community, and that's to kind of help you to like to have compassion for the fact that this is entrenched, but it actually has no power, even though it seems like it's an entrenched thought. It can dissolve in a heartbeat. And once it does, then, hindsight, oh, that was easy. you know, but this is why we have support. It's because of that, like, separation consciousness, ego can have, what's it called? Ego's very clever at hiding and trying to keep itself intact in your mind, but it's not powerful and it's not intelligent.
It is very true. Um, about ego, just be careful because ego will do everything for you to not heal and will constantly distract yourself. That's also what I feel is the fact when you want to look at what your twin flame is doing or like be obsessed with what they are doing. Um, Sometimes that's what I see in my clients, but also on the forum and that it's some people at one point of their healing they meet a block or something that is hard to heal or that is very challenging, and it's required to be really like open and to be really like I don't know the word, but like like
Vulnerable.
vulnerable. Yes, that require to be very very vulnerable. And some people they think that if they find their twin flame, if they are with their twin flame, well, they see that they don't have that to heal, so then automatically they might think that, well, if they are with them in union, well, the problem is solved and they will never need to heal because the twin flame will handle that, like they will save them. But the thing is that your twin flame can't save you. And believe me, I'm living like for more than 3 years with my twin flame, and I'm healing. A lot of my healing was about, and it's still about, work and money. Well, that's not because my twin flame, she knows how to have money. She knows how to have money more easily than I knew. She doesn't need to heal that. Well, because we are together, we're one. That's my healing. I still need to do it. So the only manner that we can live together is to kind of release it. Like that, I can heal it. But we can't really be in this manner that like she has no problem, I have problem. That's not working like that because we decided as Harmonious Union to put our life together. So that's why I need to heal that urgently. And my twin flame can't solve me. save me. It's not possible. She can't bring me the healing here. I need to go through all the experience and heal through everything by myself. That's why don't wait for you twin flame. They will not save you at all. They will bring nothing except more challenge and pressure on you that you need to heal what you have to heal. So yeah, don't look for your twin flame in a way to distract yourself from healing, and again, just heal yourself.
Yeah, I have a story that's like kind of on the other side of that, and that is last night Josh and I went to a restaurant, and it was a nice Middle Eastern restaurant. It's like one of those places you can only pay cash, and they have like the real authentic pita machine that they brought from Israel. It was such a cool restaurant. Um, and we had gone before, and it was delicious. And we go out to dinner maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks. So we chose this place. We went, and we decided to. I had the same thing I got last time, which was really good, and he got something new. And the meat that he got was like kind of rubbery. It wasn't very fresh, and it was not. It was like definitely reheated. The person who served us that last time was like really present and wasn't, was this time had a cold or something, wasn't feeling very well. That's okay. But it wasn't the same experience we had last time. And while my food was great, I enjoyed my food. Josh was disappointed in his food. And then we kind of talked about it a little bit. And after dinner, we decided to go to a different place to have dessert and an after dinner tea. We went to this place next door that we hadn't seen before. And it was this very creative looking establishment that served both craft beer and coffee. It was a cool place, lots of plants hanging everywhere. But it was funny because Josh wanted to get a little mini growler of a something called a sour. It's a type of beer that's fruity. And when he got it, not only did the keg kick, which means that halfway through the pouring, it didn't um, it didn't fill up all the way, but also there was a fly in the drink. And so when things like this happen repeatedly, like one after the other, it was like mediocrity, right? Things weren't quite loved all the way. There was a lack of love in these experiences. And it seemed like it was coming in on Josh's end, right? Like that was what he was receiving, and my drink was fine. I got a tea, it was great. Um, and it's like in those moments, I could just be kind of like, oh, that stinks for you. Sorry about that. I'm gonna enjoy myself, and I could do that, but I can also look at it like, hey, wait a minute, these two things happened in a row, and they're in my vicinity, like I'm aware of them, and this is my twin flame. And so I could feel my own feelings about it, and like, because I love him, and I don't like that he had yucky meat and a fly in his little mini whatever that thing is called. um and so I started to heal it within myself, and it was, accepting mediocrity. I had my own upset come up, which is I wanted him to talk to the manager. Like I'm always doing that. I'm always like, excuse me, and I don't mind. And I try not to be a jerk when I'm, in the world, but when something isn't right, I don't really like to accept BS. I don't like to accept something that isn't divine. And I was upset, and here comes my upset. I'm upset at Josh because he's accepting something not divine. Oh, here we go. Now I can mirror. So I started mirror exercising there, and um, realizing like I did see that part of me that was settling in some way, and loved myself there. And so I just wanted to share that like, you can, I think there's a couple Twin Flame Ascension School classes where I can't remember what Jeff and Shalia call it. It's like twin flame power or magic or something, where you feel your own feelings. Like if it looks like your twin is experiencing this stuff, like you can heal it, not for them as a person, but for your union, because you're aware of it. And then for the rest of the evening we had a pretty good night. We got some um a couple things at Five Below and went home and relaxed. So it was nice, but it was a really good exercise, I think. And Jeff and Shalia also talk about that, like same thing happening when Shalia leaves her purse in Bed Bath and Beyond somewhere, leaves it on a bed or something. I can't remember where, but Jeff healed while she was going through her stuff too. So you Twin Flames heal is one, and it gets more and more juicy like the deeper you go in your healing work.
And I think you just answered again, what is your twin flame doing? Like it may look like you're the only one doing the inner work, but again, they're healing for your union too. They're moving through their own experiences in order to come into union with you. And so to remember that you're not doing it by yourself, that's something that Jeff and Shirley really do. Like, I want to say the word stress, but I'm looking for a different word. But they do stress that like you are one with your twin flame. You're not doing this alone. They have been doing this with you the entire time. And so as you really start to harmonize in that oneness within yourself, you naturally will harmonize with your twin flame into union with them too. And I've been seeing in the open forum twin flames who are in harmonious union and who are married, and where their twin flame was doing the work. And shout out to Lau and Alex, where Alex is like, thank you so much for the work that you did. And your twin flame is going to have so much gratitude and just so much appreciation for you willing to go in all in with this work and investing into yourself and your union and helping you come into such a beautiful relationship that is meant just for you. It's uniquely created just for you. So if you're feeling resentful or feeling angry that you're doing this, know that the end outcome is your twin flame just being even more in love with you for doing this work and helping your union heal and releasing separation consciousness.
I'm going to post that post from Alexandra in the comments.
So yeah, I mean, I think like the main thing that a lot of us have covered, and like none of us would be here today if, you know, we all have relationships with our twin flames, and none of us would be here today without Twin Flame Ascension School. It's, you know, it's essentially a mandatory course if you're interested in harmonious union with your twin flame. Like there's nothing else like it. It's, you know, it's incredibly worth it. And, you know, you can get started with the introductory course. It's free. It's available on twinflamesuniverse.com. And you can sign up for it and it comes to you via email. And that's a great way to get started with this work. But it's, you know, it's essential. So yeah, with that, I don't know if anybody has any closing statements that they wish to impart.
I mean, not to be a broken record, but Twin Flame Ascension School is why we're here. Like we would not be where we are with our twin flames without the school. And we have been where you are. And for many of us, it was very painful in separation land. Like it's not fun, but really truly check the school out. You do. It is required. I like that.
Yeah, we'll be sure to paste the website in the comments below. And you know, if you have any questions, if something, you know, if you're watching this like next week and you have a question, feel free to drop it in the comments. You know, we'll still see it, or ask it in the Twin Flames Universe open forum. And you know, you're always abundantly supported in this community. Somebody will we'll see it, we'll answer it, and yeah, we're here for you. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, and thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again in another one. Bye.
Bye.